Hey, all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here, and for today's video, I thought, as a cool way to kind of kick off 2023, I would give you guys an updated tour of my collection, and the rooms that I keep most of my collectibles in. The room that you see behind me here, which is where I do all my filming and stuff. So I thought I would just kind of walk you through everything. So I did a video like this last year, but definitely have made some changes, made some additions, things like that. So just kind of felt like it was a cool time to go on and make a new video like this. So let's go on and take a look. So I figured since these were still out, these will be getting put away this week now that the holidays are over. But I wanted to go in and just share another collectible of mine, which are ornaments, Christmas ornaments, my Christmas collection, you might call it. I've been collecting the Hallmark keepsake ornaments since they launched the program with Star Trek back in the day. The second year of Star Trek is when I started collecting these. But I have the first Star Trek one they did, the first Enterprise. Now, these aren't all the keepsake ornaments that I own that you're seeing here. These are just some of my favorites, which a lot are Star Trek related, since that's what really kind of got me. This is the first Enterprise. This is Enterprise E. I love the Enterprise ones that they do. The Enterprise D here.
Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Spock here. Happy holidays. Live long and prosper.
That's the first one that I got, and that's one of my favorites. I liked when they actually had holiday greetings and stuff, not just replaying stuff from the movies. So that one with Spock is, again, one of my favorites. Captain America, Star Wars, a lot of Star Wars stuff. Though I didn't put out as much in the Star Wars this year for vehicles and stuff. Did more of the Star Trek stuff. Now, this is actually one of two trees that we put out this year. This is our second tree. This is actually a real tree. The first one was a fake tree, and this is a real tree. And even still, I don't have enough tree space to literally put all my stuff. So that's my Death Star tree topper that plays music from the movies. I only played snippets. Hopefully that won't get me copyright dings. My Captain America shield, that's another favorite of mine. Some of the original Star Trek crew. This is a new one, Grogu. I definitely feel like the quality on a lot of these ornaments have gone downhill. I think back in the day when they first started this line, the quality was much better. They still put out some cool ones. I like these Transformer ones that were based on the toys. This is really nice Captain America. Castle Grayskull, that's a pretty cool one. Also, you'll notice a lot of like Muppets and Sesame Street and stuff on the tree, which are my wife. My wife's really into Sesame Street and Muppets and stuff, so I think they're cool too, but those are her ornaments. Boba Fett, Spider-Man with his Christmas hat. I really like the ones that actually have Christmas kind of feels to them, not just not just purely based on the movie, but those are more few and far between, the ones that actually have actual Christmas themes to them. And more Enterprises, again, love the Enterprise. I'm disappointed Hallmark kind of quit doing these Transformers that are based on the original toys. They went back to doing another version of Optimus Prime this year. So that was definitely kind of disappointing to me that they didn't do any of the new or of the Transformer toys this year for their ornaments. The Enterprise C. Somebody finally gave us the Enterprise C. Of course, on the ornaments, I don't have an Enterprise B, so that kind of sucks. So I don't know how well you'll see it, but there's Batman with his Christmas hat on, a Stormtrooper with his Christmas hat on. Some of these are called peak busters, where if you turn them on, they'll make noises anytime somebody comes near the tree. There's Soundwave hiding in the tree towards the bottom of the tree. Another one of my wife's with Big Bird. Bumblebee. Shockwave. And the thing about these Transformers, they always sold out too. So again, I don't know why they didn't keep doing those ones based on the toy. And then finally, another one of my wife's. Okay, now we're heading into my upstairs office where I keep a lot of my collectibles. My Captain America tribute wall back there. These are my Masters of the Universe classics, which I don't have. Only kind of picked and chose a few of these because I just didn't feel like dealing with Matty Collector. The very awesome DC collectible Batman animated series Batmobile. So that's a cool vehicle. And then also the Batwing. We're going to be getting some new updated Batwings this year from companies, but I don't think it'll be as cool as this one. Now, some of you have asked, in my videos where the pinball machine that used to be downstairs was. Well, I moved it up here to my upstairs office. So my wife likes to play the pinball too. There's a Gentle Giant Jumbo Boba Fett figure. I think that was the first one that they did in that Jumbo line. Stan Lee, the Standor figure, autographed by Stan Lee. Shartimus Prime got that autograph for me at one of the conventions. That's my Lego Toy Fair exclusive set, which I've seen go for crazy money on eBay and such. I don't know if I'd ever sell it, but man, I'm surprised how much money that thing is sold for. And not even complete versions. That's a totally complete one. My G.I. Joe Sergeant Slaughter, some Joe Con exclusives over the years. So kind of a mixture of things. G.I. Joe merging in with my Captain America tribute wall, the first Toy Biz Captain America. Actually, that's the 20th anniversary version, but I do have the original on this wall. U.S. Agent, that's a pretty hard figure. That's a pretty rare figure. Going back to G.I. Joe. I love this shelf with my 3 3/4 inch Joes, so I'm not sure who fallen over there. I'll have to check that. But, this was a favorite line of mine back in the day, the 25th anniversary G.I. Joe line. Of course, now I've moved on to 6-inch figures, but still keep these displayed up in my upstairs office. I don't know if we'll ever see as many classified figures released by Hasbro as they did with the 3 3/4 inch, but definitely I love my G.I. Joe. Now, this is a portrait I got on, actually, believe it or not, on my honeymoon with my wife, autographed by Stan Lee and some other folks involved with this cover. And some Hot Wheels cap, Marvel Legends cap, all kinds of cap. Cap's definitely one of my favorite characters. The NECA Captain America. This my mom got me when I was in high school, autographed by the entire original crew. This one autographed by William Shatner. The original Secret Wars cap, the 5-inch Toy Biz cap, 5-inch US Agent. That was a con exclusive, that Marvel Universe. The Marvel Legends Stan Lee. This is the first modern appearance of Captain America in the comics. My wife got me this Captain America portrait thing. Baron Zemo from the Secret Wars line. Not really Cap, but kind of Cap related. So all kinds of Cap here. This, again, I call this my Captain America tribute wall. Cool light up Enterprise lamp. Even got the couch with the Cap theme, kind of a Star Wars Cap mixture there. More Star Trek stuff. I love that. This is one of my favorite portraits, autographed by James Doohan, Scotty himself. Great Star Wars vehicle here with the Millennium Falcon, one of the best vehicles I think Hasbro's done. And then this is my main Star Wars cabinet in the upstairs office, where I've broken it down between the original trilogy, the prequels, and the sequels. One side's good guys, and the other side is bad guys. Now this shelf is actually Bounty Hunters, Jabba and Bounty Hunters. And then the top shelf here is the bad guys from the original trilogy, of course. And then just some other various Star Wars stuff. San Diego Comic-Con set there. Now this one has some real sentimental value to me. It's one of the first figures I got when I started doing the sites. This was offered to Hasbro at Toy Fair, like this first main Toy Fair I ever went to, and some Celebration exclusives. And then up here, this is a line Hasbro did with comics. I really love the original Marvel comic run of G.I. Joe, and they did these figures in 2-packs. So I kept those in the packaging. My Street Fighter Partycade that I keep on my closet door here. Just play it when I want to. Some Art Asylum, Diamond Select Toys, Star Trek figures, and Enterprises, the Enterprise E, the Enterprise A. These are my favorite versions of the original crew, these outfits, the Wrath of Khan outfits. And then this cabinet is dedicated to Marvel Legends. So this is my movie stuff leading up to Avengers Endgame. And then down here, these are comic book based Avengers. This is my Avengers shelf with comic book based characters. Love that Cap figure. It's a great Thor and Iron Man figure as well. So I don't keep all my Marvel Legends out on display, but definitely my favorites. This is my X-Men shelf. So in the front there are the Jim Lee X-Men, and then in the back are a lot of the bad guys, and then some various other X-Men. This is my Spider-Man shelf, comic book based Spider-Man. And then this is just kind of a mixture of guys. These are the original Star Wars vintage collection figures that Hasbro did. I thought this was an awesome idea back when they did it. So, and then a few exclusives like the George Lucas, the Black Series and the 3 3/4 inch George Lucas there. 501st Stormtrooper, my wife, my cat. And then like with G.I. Joe, they started doing comics and figures in 2-packs. This is a bat I got from my very first Iron Man triathlon that I did. Some Star Wars decorations on my desk. Rubik's Cube. Got this Toys for Tot coin one year for donating and volunteering. And that other coin was from a Marine Corps marathon that I did one year. HasLab and Ghostbusters exclusive, my Marvel Universe Galactus that I still keep out on display. Some Marvel Universe caps. I got this portrait a long time ago, but I always thought it made for great displaying of action figures. Again, those comic book 2-packs for Star Wars and G.I. Joe. Now these retro figures, I thought it was an okay idea, and I got the Star Wars ones, and I also got the Empire Strikes Back, but then I felt like Hasbro was kind of milking it, so those were the only ones I really got. My Transformers up in the upstairs office, so a lot of the combiners. Love that Devastator. And these are Masterpiece Transformers mostly. I've put in a few non-Masterpiece that I thought worked well with the Masterpiece line for like some of the mini guys. That Reflector's a third-party Transformer. I don't get too many third-party Transformers, but with Reflector I did. Love the Masterpiece line. Galvatron is also a third party because not sure we'll ever get an official Masterpiece one. And then these are not Masterpiece, but a line that kind of predated Masterpiece. And then these are my DC Collectible Arkham figures. Those are the big ones on the bottom shelf, and then the regular size ones. DC Icons, another great line that I definitely miss from DC Collectibles. And then this is kind of my classic DC superhero shelf with Wonder Woman, Batman, various Batmans, Superman, Christopher Reeve, Superman. This is in my closet. So the shelf up here is just a lot of like con exclusives and stuff that I've gotten over the years. So there's actually some pretty cool stuff up there on that shelf. Now, I keep most of my collectibles to the basement and that upstairs office, but I do have a few stuff here and there throughout the house. Like these are in the bedroom. This is a portrait, went to the Star Wars in concert, and that's in my living room. So again, I keep most of my stuff to the basement and the upstairs, but a few stuff gets out into the house. Now this is the basement here, though technically this side of the basement is the gym. I made a homemade gym. I did a lot of triathlons back in the day and marathons and stuff. So, and I still run a lot and I do some weightlifting and stuff, but not nearly as much as I should. But I've decked out the gym, of course, in my basement here with a lot of posters and stuff, a few collectibles here and there. The NECA Deadpool. That's a plastic cap shield, bunch of movie posters. Those are all medals. The other medals were marathon medals, and then these medals are from triathlons that I've done. And then we start to move over to the section of the basement where you see generally in my video. So these two arcade machines have moved out. You know, these aren't, I don't keep these with the others. This one I may end up selling. This is the Marvel vs. Capcom. I've got the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which has the same games. Plus a few extra, so I may end up selling this one. And then this is my very first arcade 1-up machine that I got, the Marvel Superhero one that has the Punisher video game. So I've got my Punisher figures on display with it, along with the Infinity Gauntlet. But this is the only cabinet that arcade is done with the Punisher game on it, so I'm definitely keeping this one. And then this is the outside of the area that you see in most of my videos. Now, like this shelf is all stuff that I just haven't opened or don't have space for, so I've kept it in the packaging. Few hanging vehicles here in the outside entrance. These are all storage, these little drawer things. But then this is the entrance to the room that you see in all my videos. So just from the other side of it, you can kind of get a look. So this again is a basement. It's not even a fully fixed up basement, but I turned it into this kind of man cave, work area, video game room, whatever you want to call it. I spent a lot of time down here, and I really love how this area has turned out. I've kind of, over the last year or so, I kind of started this area when 2020 with COVID, but I definitely love how this room has turned out. So on this side of the wall is all glass cases with action figures. So one thing I get asked, or one thing I comment I'll hear a lot when I do videos like this is, why are your figures posed in static positions? And the simple answer to that is because of space. When you try and do like diorama scenes and stuff, that takes up more space in the shelf. And as you're going to see, most of these shelves are packed pretty full with figures. So that's the main reason. The other thing is just when you try and get them in certain poses, they don't stand as well. And even just in these kind of poses, the figures will often fall. And I don't like doing like tape or anything like that on the bottom of the figures. So I'm sure that comment will probably make its way into this video. They always do, but that's why I don't do like dramatic diorama scenes and stuff on my shelves. Now these are more Transformers, some of my favorites, and you saw the Batman and the He-Man. So these are the top. This is on the top of the glass cases. And then this is my primary turtle case. So these are all animated series figures from NECA. So the main turtles, and then this is the bad guy shelf, the main bad guy shelf. And then these are the larger size figures. And same with this shelf. So I'm kind of running out of space for more of the NECA stuff. So I'm kind of like definitely slimming down what I pick and choose for NECA. This is my Masters of the Universe shelf or case. So Masters of the Universe Origins, good guys, bad guys. And then these are the Masterverse figures. Again, the good guys. And again, you can see here that these shelves are getting quite packed. So it gets harder and harder to find space to squeeze figures in there. And I don't really have any more space for additional cabinets. This is another Star Wars shelf. This is like the Disney Plus stuff. Rogue One. Bad Batch. Rebels. And then this shelf is Transformers. These are the Decepticons. These are Hasbro Transformers, and then Autobots down here. These are just some random DC guys, all DC figures in this case. This is Mattel Build-A-Figures and some Mezco figures. These are my DC Multiverse from McFarlane. These are the bad guys. And then McFarlane good guys. So I've definitely been adding more and more to these two shelves as McFarlane has been increasing the non-Batman figures that they've been doing and stuff. And this is my movie shelf for McFarlane. So the Snyderverse figures, Black Adam, Suicide Squad. All right, now we're moving over. This is another Marvel Legend shelf. So these are my MCU after Avengers Endgame. And then this is comic book based. These are mostly mutant teams. X-Force, X-Factor, Excalibur. These are non-mutant teams. Fantastic Four, West Coast Avengers, the Winter Guard, Thunderbolts, New Warriors. That's my bad guy shelf there on the bottom. Definitely Hasbro needs to get us start finishing out some of these teams, especially like the New Warriors and Thunderbolts. Hoping Hasbro does that soon. All right, now moving back in the back of the room again. So this is a shelf that you often see in my videos, even though you don't see it up close. But you can see that this top shelf, actually up here at the very top, we got some wrestling stuff, and Action Force Sergeant Slaughter, Ultimate Sergeant Slaughter. Had that Donkey Kong since I was a kid. I had this Star Wars game when I was a kid, but it disappeared. And so I saw it in a vintage toy store like a year or two ago, and so I went on and bought it because I had fond memories of that game. So here we have Thundercats, the good guys, the bad guys. These are all the Super 7 Thundercat figures. And then next up, we've got all the recent Spawn figures that McFarlane's been doing. Good guys, bad guys. Then down here, some DC collectible CW guys, which was a good line, but definitely don't think we're going to see much more in the way of CW figures. There's my Tron Arcade 1-Up. Very awesome looking cabinet. Some Diamond Select Toy Tron figures on there. That's a con exclusive from Diamond Select Toys. Year 2 Batman from McFarlane. My Mafex Azrael Batman. And you'll notice, I've got comics hanging out. These are comics, I collected back in the day. They're all bagged and backboard. So I like to hang up comics kind of like wallpaper. My Superman neon sign that you see in most of my videos. But yeah, I definitely like to put comics up as kind of like wallpaper. More Christmas that will be taken down soon, but getting looks at more. Now this little tree that I have in the basement here, I've got like some of the arcade stuff. So to go along with the arcade machines, some Star Wars stuff. But a few more ornaments. Now that's a tree topper. I keep that up all year round, that Enterprise, but technically it's a Hallmark tree topper. But you'll see that in all my videos because I think it looks cool, less Christmassy and just kind of cool. Marvel Legends. Some of these boxes are empty, but most of them are not. And these are figures that I keep on top of the arcade machines. So I always try and match up. Except for this one, Galactus. This was just the best space I had for the new HasLab Galactus. So he's on top of the X-Men machine. And he is kept in place with a wire there. So if he did fall, he wouldn't actually fall to the ground. Stan Lee autographed comic of X-Men, the Jim Lee X-Men era. Some Soda Toy, Street Fighter, and Playmates. Actually, that Chun-Li is Playmate, the recent Playmates one. That's a Soda Toys Guile. 20th anniversary cap. Toy Biz cable to go with the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Hopefully one day Hasbro will give us an updated version of that. This is the X-Men cabinet. So matching up figures, that's how the X-Men appear in this game. And then the Avengers game, that's how, the version of Iron Man that's in the Avengers game. Caps on that as well. Juggernaut, he's in both the Avengers and X-Men game. More comics. Galactus. The comics are just kind of random. They were in a box that I was easily had access to, so I just picked out some of the cool ones. I have a ton of comics. Some original Star Trek glasses from like Burger King or something, I think. Some random stuff. My hooded Cobra Commander with custom head. Now, this is a recent addition, the Star Wars Arcade. I finally was able to find one and was able to add it. So that's why the pinball machine's upstairs, because I wanted that one down here in the basement. And then my Turtles video game machine. More Turtles on top. Now, of course, besides Galactus, I also have my Unicron, my HasLab Unicron, which I hang from the ceiling. I kept him in robot mode. I was originally going to put him in planet mode, but I decided he looked cooler in robot mode. This is another shelf I keep in the corner, which you don't see in the videos. It's off camera. But this is random stuff, some like 90s Marvel guys, including my favorite US agent. These are the Mirage Turtle figures from NECA Toys. Some SH Figuarts, MCU figures, along with the Hasbro Tesseract. And then some NECA figures, the Boys and Flash Gordon, plus the Judge Dredd from Mezco in the back there. And over here, the Batmobile from Mattel and some the NECA Dark Knight. My guards for my fish tank, Aquaman and Submariner. Keep the cats away. My AT-AT in the fish tank there. Fish, I guess, was camera shy, so I only have one fish in the tank right now, but he is not visible at the moment. And then these shelves over the fish tank here, just again, random stuff that I haven't either opened or just don't have room to open or what have you. Over in this corner, I hung up those retro card classified figures, the Mattel WWE Masters of the Universe figures, and then just some random stuff, more Cap figures, Transformers, some old DVDs. I don't really buy DVDs anymore, but back in the day I did. An old 8-track player, if you know what that is. My workstation. Some old Xbox and PlayStation. And besides hanging comics up, I've also figured, like a lot of these retro card back figures that Hasbro's been doing, I don't like to open because I just think they're cool, so I keep them on the card backs and I hang them up. Getting kind of like wallpaper. Even have on the ceiling, you'll see comics and stuff if you look up on the ceiling here. Star Wars, bunch of Star Wars figures. So like I said, I really like how this room has turned out. I definitely, when I started, doing things with this room, I didn't think it was going to turn out this well, but, it really ended up coming out great, in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it down in the comments section below. Also, if you make a video like this or just want to take images of your own collectible room or displays or what have you, we do have a section over on Toy News International where you can post that stuff, which we might then highlight in a future cool collectibles segment on the website. So giving you a chance to show off your collection to a lot of different people. So I will put a link to that section down below in the video comments, or video description, I should say. But again, if you have a cool display room or what have you and want to show it off, please feel free to do so. So that's it. Like this video if you're so inclined, and please think about subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. Hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. As always, guys, stay safe out there, and until next time, I'll catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.